Welcome to the Rotoscopers YouTube, as we're going to be reviewing the highly anticipated, much loved art book for The Book of Life. Remember when the first trailer came out for this and we were all just blown away because the art was just so fantastic and nothing we'd ever seen on film before? The reason for that is because the director, Jorge Gutierrez, was adamant that the movie looked just like the art book. And who better to write the art book but himself? The foreword for this book is written by Guillermo del Toro. And the last time I read a book with his foreword was Puss in Boots. And I actually really loved that art book. Not so much of a fan of the movie. Like, it was okay, but it really wasn't anything to write home about. But the art book is fantastic, and it's on my list of top 10 contemporary art books to own. So as we can see, Guillermo del Toro has a very good track record, so I was so excited to get into this. And it is kind of in that same vein of style, and I guess that's one reason why I really like it. I love that era, and just how they did it was fantastic. Guillermo also talks about Jorge's enthusiasm as he was bringing this to him as a project to do, and my oh my, I will tell you, that is not an understatement. Because this book was written by the director, it's almost like sitting down with him as he goes and tells you everything what he was thinking, his inspirations, why he did this, and even throws in all these little jokes in there that it's just like, you're funny, Jorge. Obviously, a huge inspiration was his love and appreciation and just respect for the holiday Dia de los Muertos. He just goes through and tells you all these stories of why it meant so much to him and why this is a movie that's been in the making for 14 years. The first full chapter is about the characters. Jorge loves symbolism and patterns, and so this book is full of it, and he's going through and he explains each one of those. A lot of them you don't really get just by watching the movie. I mean, you may notice it, like, oh, why are Chakal's eyes always black, but they just have the skulls in the center? Or why is it that there's blue around La Muerta's eyes? Why? Because they both just have eyes for each other. I mean, Jorge is a total romantic. As he goes through and explains that, the whole movie is a passionate love letter to the folk art of the Mexican heritage. Chakal is a passionate love letter to the Mexican bandit villains of the spaghetti westerns. And then Zidalba himself is a passionate love letter to Guillermo himself. I mean, there's a lot of love in this man. And don't forget his undying, unwavering love for the mustache. He talks a little bit about how his relationship with his wife and how he was the one that did all of the masculine or grotesque characters, but she was always the one that did all the beautiful ones, and just kind of the relationship that they had and how they worked together is very endearing. Very endearing. Chapter 2 is about the colors, the shapes, the designs, a lot more of the inspirations and symbolism that goes behind it. Materials, color keys, we've got pullouts, as well as a brief introduction to one of the lands that got taken out. So that was kind of cool. Chapter 3 says it's about the locations, but honestly it's about some of the locations. It talks about more characters and way more love letters to people like Picasso and, believe it or not, Mean Girls. This movie is a really great melding of Mexican heritage, Spanish tradition, as well as just a touch of Aztec flair. He talked about the church at the end and how symmetry and perfection were his visual enemies. He said, I really wanted everything to feel handmade, to imply real people through the ages had built and rebuilt this beloved church. I really liked how this whole book was by Jorge. He's the one that breathes life into this. You know that feeling when you get a crazy idea and then you find a couple people that believe in that crazy idea? And you know that not everybody will, but you guys are gonna do it anyway. That's the feeling you get as you read this book. It's like the production team just lived in that state of mind for the entirety of this film. Real Effects was the production studio that put this whole movie together. After you finish reading this, you could really just see this small group of people working in a small studio out in the middle of Texas, just where they almost are afraid to tell people what they're doing, but they know that what they're doing is going to be something special. You can just feel that energy as you read it. And that is one of the main reasons why I loved this book so much. The art obviously is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's exactly like the movie because it's exactly like the art book, just like Jorge wanted it. But in the end, it's that pent-up excitement that goes behind the whole team as like kind of a little cohesive little family. And I just loved seeing that. I give this book 4.5 stars. It is definitely worth it. My only gripe, and this is just me being incredibly nitpicky, I just feel like some of the pages could have been laid out a little bit better, and I really wanted a lot more full page spreads. Not to say that there weren't any, because there are quite a few. I just wanted more. They were that good. Okay, if you are looking to buy The Art of the Book of Life, make sure to click on the link below. Every time that you do that, it's going to help us get more art books to review for you. Make sure to subscribe because we post art book reviews on Tuesdays, and you definitely don't want to be left out. Until next time, guys, my name is Chelsea Robson, and you are watching the Rotoscopers YouTube.